The following video has been created without the use of AI. Please support your human content creators by liking and subscribing and commenting something down below. Thank you.
You're woke, dizzy, eyes filled with tears. What happened? You're a little dizzy, stomach queasy, disorientation. You sat up, holding your head. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. The voice came from your left. Your head shot towards it, and your eyes narrowed. A strange snake creature had positioned himself. He was vaguely humanoid. You inhaled through your mouth. Seeing a monstrosity like him wasn't out of the ordinary for you. Oh, no screams or immediate attempts at fleeing. You must be a brave or foolish one. Though then again, he looked to his right. There stood a desk. On it, your weapon and leftover ammo. You don't seem like an expendable. Of course I'm not, you replied calmly and professionally after clearing your throat. You then saluted. MTF Zeta-12. Zeta Squad, huh? Specialization, extraction of VIPs. Yes, I remember. Your collective codename is Bulldog, right? You nodded. The monster crossed his arms, mockingly. Well, I'm glad you didn't immediately start screaming. Would have alerted something. So what's your mission? How did you get into this mess? You sighed and began explaining. This mess you were in had started as a regular extraction mission. MTF Zeta was used normally to aid VIPs during assignments. If an important urban shade scientist was on an expedition, if a containment breach happened and an executive was on site and needed rescue, or to be additional reinforcements to other MTF units. Importance-wise, you were around the middle of the MTF hierarchy. Not as beloved as MTF-Alpha, codename Biopunk, which were Urban Shade's extermination crew, equipped with state-of-the-art weaponry to destroy anomalous areas such as G-1199, aka the Fields of Sorrow, a place located somewhere in Utah. Anything that died there came back as an evil demonic copy of whatever was buried there. Quite nasty. The biopunks had turned that entire area into an ash field after the order from upper management came to rid the world of the anomaly. But you also weren't as avoided as MTF Septum, codename Sewer Lickers, an MTF unit solely dedicated to the repeat annihilation of a self-replicating poop monster called F-15 in the Brooklyn sewer system. It was often considered a form of punishment or humiliation when one was ordered to join their ranks, and, understandably, it was difficult to leave. Once one got used to the smell of shit, it apparently was quite the fun job. That's what you had heard, at least. What was strange about the mission was that usually at least a team of 5 operatives were assigned to an extraction mission, such as the one you were on now. But you were sent alone. Honestly, it felt purposeful, almost like a self-deletion mission. Though if that was the case, you're entirely unsure as to why anyone would want to get rid of you. You did your job as well as you physically could. You never failed a single assignment, even though you had only been on 4 so far, this being your 5th. And then again, your aim was a little off, and the bullets you were given often didn't last long. But at worst, this was a reason to send you on easier missions with less pay instead. After you arrived at the black site via extraction submarine, you were immediately confronted with the terrors of the containment-breached black site. Squid monsters sensitive to light, an evil AI that had control over the turret systems and security cameras, as well as some of the doors. Some sort of void slime that tried to eat you. But worst of all, a big fish head covered in smoke had almost gotten you twice. Really, you felt more like an expendable than an NTF. And it wasn't until you were attacked by a wall dweller that you were forced to fire your weapon. A standard issue Heckler & Koch UMP. The shots had been enough, however, to tell every biological entity in the vicinity, "Hey, there's humans here!" The monster who saved you was listening intently to your descriptions. And finally, he interjected. Okay. I get that I'm more curious how you survived, and... Okay. I think I get the gist. Now, how did you survive the grinner? You blushed hard. The grinner was Z-7945-1, a member of a race of up to 4 creatures that had all been captured and brought to different containment sites. They were 7-foot-tall humanoids, with brown skin, white toothy grins, with up to 1,000 teeth in their large gaping jaws. They had the terrifying ability to kill any creature by simply forcing them to look into their eyes, which were located on the palms of their hands. I didn't look at the eyes directly, you admitted. The grinner had snuck up behind me, and I suppose, just in the right moment, I just looked into a big puddle from a burst pipe, and I saw the grinner in the reflection, and my eyes must have met his for but a second. The monster you were talking to shook. That wasn't even in his own completely unredacted documents. Wait, did you just learn that, or did you have that knowledge before? I, of course, knew what the thing was, but no, to my knowledge, I'm the first one to learn of this weakness of theirs. Well, not really a weakness. I mean, you were knocked out for 2 hours, but you're at least still alive. You looked down at the ground. You were embarrassed. Well, anyways, this increases your value, like a lot. You know, your reason to survive, right? You could tell Urban Shade. He leaned back against the wall with a pleased expression. So, who are you specifically? And who are you here to extract? I mean, there are no humans left. A man by the name of Sebastian Solas. For some reason, the silence between the two of you was deafening in this moment. Until... Urban Shade is convinced he's still alive. According to reports from Expendables. I've been given his ID card for identification, and I'm authorized to give him the information that he has been found innocent of the murder of 9 people. That was all you really knew of him. The snake monster pulled back, thinking. What you said didn't make a lot of sense. Why would send Shade... Why would Shade send you down here without informing you of the fact that he turned into this? After all, they were the ones doing it. He shook his head and said, I mean, I'm Sebastian Solus, it's just... I don't think that you were expecting that. You stared blankly at the monster. Silently you sat there, working mentally through the information. Your natural instinct was to dismissively laugh, but honestly you just wanted to go home, and if push came to shove, if you just came back with the wrong person, the worst punishment would be based on the destruction he could cause. And more than likely you would get your pay deducted and perhaps even held responsible should the person sent after you die. And be held responsible if they have to send a new person down here and they die trying to find the real Sebastian. Though then again, there were signs that this could be him. For one, being alone with just you. He probably already barely fit into the automated extraction sub. You were the smallest MTF member of the Zeta team too. They jokingly called you Vent Crawler because of that. This alone was a huge indicator that this hunch might be true. Hang on. Sebastian reached for a pocket strapped to his tail. Out of it he pulled a document. Here, just read this as proof. This was his Urban Shade document. Curiously gave it a quick read-through. This made you shed all doubts. You stood up only to fall back. Your legs were completely numb, as if they were paralyzed. The snake laughed. Looks like you aren't ready yet to leave, Miss Zeta-12. My codename is Brain Prey. An awkward silence followed. I'll just call you Z. You sighed. Fine. Look, I wanna leave just as desperately as you, alright? So how about this? Piggyback ride. You blushed as he pointed on his back. You blushed as he pointed at his back. Piggyback ride? Hey, better than waiting God knows how long until your legs move again, right? After a short silence, you shook your head. I guess you're right. Yes. That would be the most efficient way of continuing this. Sebastian had to admit, hearing you be flustered suited you. It was borderline adorable. If it wasn't for those manly muscles of yours, you might have been downright cute. Now that he thought about it, you were quite the short stack, especially with your muscular, stocky build. The urge to pet you overcame him, and he shook his head subtly at that. Without any more warnings, he just picked you up, and you squeaked like a dog toy as he placed you on his back. Pouting, you wrapped your arms around his neck for purchase. My gun, you mumbled, embarrassed. Snickering, Sebastian put your UMP into one of the bags strapped to his tail. Thanks, you muttered. Subs in Dock 13. Ah, my unlucky number, perfect. What kind of extraction was this? You thought in embarrassment as you clung to the monster. First of all, you got into a dangerous situation, which ended up you needing rescue from the grinner. Even knowing he didn't kill you, would have eaten you eventually if Sebastian had intervened. And Now he was carrying you to extraction like a baby. Hey, Sebastian, you mumbled, as he swiped a keycard through a door. Yes, Z? Can we keep this out of the report? Sebastian chuckled. You mean the grinner attack or the piggyback ride? You grumbled. The piggyback ride. Sebastian didn't stop, but he grinned widely, continuing on his way. He liked you. He really did. You were the most fun distraction since the containment breach. Arriving at the docks, they looked dark. The only light shining came from the sub itself, which bobbed up and down in the water. But already Sebastian could tell his hunch was correct. The sub looked too small. But he refrained from commenting and just slithered forward. The entry walkway was open. Disappointed, Sebastian stood before it. Inside, it looked like a standard troop transport. 6 seats lining the metal walls, with black rubber flooring, and a first aid kit. Some emergency rebreathers as well. A sigh escaped Sebastian. The snake monster leaned into the tiny room. But just as he was about to sit you down, you said quickly, Wait, you first. He tilted his head, looking at you. Oh, I suppose I'm the important cargo. Sure. He sat you down on the dock, and you watched him squeeze into the tiny room. Obviously he couldn't sit, so he curled himself up. Meanwhile, you tried standing. Your legs still felt stiff. Awkwardly, you shuffled over into the submarine, tripping and falling right into his arms. The door of the sub closed automatically as you were left staring up into Sebastian's face. Are you certain you're an MTF? You seem a little too clumsy for that. Your heart beat faster. Sorry. Well, actually, I'm sorry, said Sebastian while attempting to push further back into the sub, but he just couldn't bend the metal into the shape of his back. He followed his gaze. It's a little stuffy. You could feel his muscles press against you. Despite his thick scales, he still managed to feel soft. Every breath he took brushed over your body. His warmth you felt, his heartbeat you heard. There was no place for you left inside the tiny sub. All you could do was press against him in an awkward hug. Urban shit needs better boats. If they plan on transporting bigger targets like me in the future, huh? He commented, wanted to keep a conversation rolling. You could feel him, but he could also feel you, smell you. Such a sweet scent like honey. And he's having a much worse time than you. You could relish in his feeling, in a way. But he had urges that were suppressed for way too long thanks to his predicament on the black side. Maybe going slow as possible. He could figure out a way where you'd be okay with this. He definitely didn't want to do anything unconsensual. But it would certainly make it awkward if you refused. Unless... Confidently placed a hand on your rear, causing you to shake. Sorry. No, you said quickly. There's no room here. I mean, you have to put your hand somewhere, right? Jackpot, he thought. Sebastian looked at your face, smiling almost cheekily at you, while you blushed, and tried to look anywhere but him, Until you just needed to say it. I think I know what you're thinking. He squeezed your butt cheek, making you inhale sharply. Your heart beat faster. The sub ride is 4 hours. 4 hours where we can't do much. It'd be boring. You purred. Plus, you saved my life. I think that's the least I can do, huh? Just one thing. He mused, and you looked into his glowing eyes. Don't put that in the report. They'll fire the shit out of you. You nodded before carefully pushing off of his chest. Quickly and greedily, you began to remove your tactical vest as well as opening up your pants. Sebastian didn't know why, but there was something intriguing about a woman in full military gear slowly peeling herself out of it, gently revealing your supple flesh to him. It was pink and hot. His hands gently felt over your curves. Your skin was rough and tough for a woman, for obvious reasons, but it lacked any scars. It certainly was athletic. A bit of sweat ran down your chest. The inside of the sub was becoming a sauna. Your lips touched when his third arm cupped your chest, making you squirm. Sebastian moved beneath you as he tried to adjust himself for a more comfortable position. Your tongues eagerly pushed past your lips, first meeting in the middle. But his was stronger. It immediately forced its way into your mouth. It was thick and agile, like a giant wet tentacle. It swirled around your mouth in a pleasurable manner, making you moan as your own submitted to the merciless assault. And as you and Sebastian separated, a thick string of sweet, hot salvia connected your mouths. You muttered, horny, almost made dumb from the pleasure. So, don't get me wrong, but do you have the parts to keep going? Sebastian smirked. He moved his hips, causing something hard and warm and heavy to slap in between your butt cheeks. Well, that certainly was the best way to say yes.
Hey, thank you for watching the video until the very end. I greatly appreciate that. That helps me with the algorithm. But before we say goodbye, I would really like to shout out all of my lovely darling stewards for supporting my $4.99 membership tier. Maxicat, Alison Watkins, Husky HD 17, Bella Mare, Mystic Jade 111, Giovanna Morietti, Twilight Mia, Angry Boxman, Hella, Melofia, Anonymous Weep, and Nicodemus D. Your support is greatly appreciated, as well as the support of my other channel members. I couldn't do this without you. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here, and see you soon.